it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. We are officially moving into budgeting for December, which I am so excited about. This paycheck that we are budgeting technically falls on November 30th, so it should, by my own rules that I set up arbitrarily for myself at some point, should technically still be a November budget. But I made the executive decision, since I make my own rules and I am my own boss, to instead have this final paycheck of November be budgeted as my first paycheck in December. I did that mostly because I wanted to do all of my end of the month wrapping up videos, which you have already seen by now. I wanted to get those posted before December hit because December 1st means Vlogmas. Hopefully Vlogmas is going well, because by the time you guys are seeing this video, it's already started. Lots and lots of videos coming at you from me on this channel during December. Lots of vlogs and stuff, but also my typical budgeting videos, which we have here. So we're going to budget paycheck number 1 for December. Paycheck date we said was November 30th. I'm just going to write that in so as not to confuse myself. We're also going to be starting the first week in my high-low temperature savings challenge. And that's actually what I'm going to start with, because I need to know excuse me, how much I'm going to save for this savings challenge before I can budget anything else, right? Because I need to take this amount off the top. It's like the one amount I don't know ahead of time, since we're doing this in real time. So what I have decided to do for my high-low temperature savings challenge, it says you can choose the high or low temperature one day each week and save that amount. When I created this, that was kind of the premise I had in mind, but you can really do it any way you want. And with that in mind, I decided to change my own rules a little bit, and rather than looking at the high temperature or the low temperature for the day, what I'm going to do is right now, I'm going to look at my weather app, and whatever the temperature is right now, while I'm filming this, that's how much I'm going to save. So I'm going to go into my little weather app here. I'm not going to show you guys because it's going to show my location, my exact location, but I'll take a little screen cap and post it here so you guys can see, like I'm screenshotting my screen right now. The temperature right now as I'm filming this is 35 degrees. So I am going to save, for this high-low temperature savings challenge, $35. So if you want to participate throughout December in the high-low temperature savings challenge with me, I have my Etsy shop link down below where you can grab the printable. I have it available by week, so you can check in just once a week and save that amount. I also have it for every single day if you want to go in every single day and save that amount of money. Lots of different options. It's 4 different printables available in the bundle. It's $2. So definitely go snag the bundle, pick which worksheet you want to work on in December, and join me in this savings challenge because it's fun. So we're going to save $35 for the high-low temperature savings challenge this week. Of course, because I started my first paycheck in December here on the last day of November, that means there's technically 5 paychecks in December, so that's why I chose this one with 5 weeks. There's also one with 4 weeks. So just, pick and choose what you want. But yeah, $35 I'm going to save for my high-low temperature savings challenge. So when I stuff my cash envelopes, that'll be part of the envelopes that I stuff. Now that I know that, I can go ahead and get into my budget. So if you've been watching my budget with me videos for the past month or so, you will know that at the beginning of November, I started writing in a total amount here, and I gave you guys a little snapshot of the amount of money that I was budgeting for the week. But in order to do that, what I was doing was taking the money off of the top for sinking funds before I wrote in the total, and keeping kind of how much I was saving each week for sinking funds a secret, just to kind of make it a little bit easier to give you guys a total starting balance without disclosing my husband's income, because he does not want to disclose his income. He's made that very clear to me. That didn't work for me, you guys. I was getting hella confused every week when I sat down to film my budget, and it just isn't worth it for me to do it that way. I know you guys appreciate getting like a starting balance so I can fill in my total section down here at the bottom. I understand that that's helpful for some of you, but in doing that, I was hindering my own budget process, and I was confusing myself, and ultimately I have to do what's best for me. If I'm doing it just for the sake of a video, but it's not working for me, then it's not working. So I'm gonna go back to leaving my total income blank, and therefore also leaving my remaining balance blank here. I apologize if that is upsetting for some of you, but I have to do what's best for me. I sit down and I film these budget videos every week, and I love sharing them with you guys, but ultimately they're for me. This is my real budget. I am not faking numbers or making stuff up for the sake of a video. This is my real budget. And I was confusing myself, and I was stumbling throughout the month with my budgeting process because of it, so not doing that anymore. So when we then get to my sinking funds, I am going to be talking about how much I've budgeted for sinking funds. However, I'm not going to be stuffing my sinking funds this week. I'm still going to save that amount of money every week and then just stuff my sinking funds once a month at the end of the month. But the difference is I'm just writing down how much I'm saving so that I know how much I've set aside and I'm not confused anymore. Hopefully that all makes sense. So the paycheck date is November 30th. We're going to take my husband's income as well as other money that we've kind of accumulated here and there, and we're going to bunch it up into one bucket, and we're going to use that money to take care of all of our bills and expenses, set aside money for sinking funds, set aside money for extra debt, take care of our savings challenge, all of that. So let's see how we're going to allocate the money. All right, so under this checking section, first thing that I need to write in is my First Merchants Bank credit card. This is the minimum payment on this card. I actually wrote it in on last week's budget, but the minimum payment wasn't due yet, so I didn't pay it. Now I have to pay it because the statement is available for me and I'm ready to make that minimum payment. So the amount I'm budgeting for that is $55. I just love this Paycheck budget printable. It's so fun. This is my design for December and I love it. I do have my Etsy shop linked down below. As I mentioned, you can also get all of my budget worksheets on my Etsy shop as well, in addition to that savings challenge worksheet bundle. So I just love it. I think it's so much fun. It's Christmassy enough without being like overly Christmassy, and it's simple, and I just love that. Okay, so that was the first of the things that I need to budget for. This section of my paycheck budget worksheet is where I list everything that's going to be paid out using my checking account. Next up is our lot rent. My husband and I own our mobile home, free and clear. We paid it off spring of 2020, but we live in a mobile home community and we still pay to rent the lot that the home sits on. We live in a mobile home. And that amount is $527, though we did just get notified that rent's going up again, as it does every year. So this is the last time we will pay $527, and next month it's going up by, I think, $25 or $30. So it is what it is. Okay, then the next bill we need to pay is water. I wrote all of these bills in, by the way, on my calendar here to make it really easy to figure out what we need to pay each week. So that's where I'm getting this information from. I kind of did all my pre-planning ahead of time. The amount that I'm going to budget for water is $50. Our water bill fluctuates each month. I never really know exactly how much it's going to be, but pretty much if I budget $50, I know it's going to cover it. I don't think our water bill has ever come in higher than that. And then the last thing is cable. We have cable TV and high-speed internet. We got a deal through our mobile home community where we actually pay less for the TV and high-speed internet than we were paying for just high-speed internet before we signed up for that deal. So we don't even really watch the cable TV. We're all about our streaming services, but I mean, if it's cheaper, right? So the amount we're going to budget for that is $65. And that's everything for this checking section. These are like my fixed expenses, my bills that I have to pay every single month. So let's go ahead and add them up. I've got my little low-cost clicky calculator, which you guys seem to be very divided on. Half of you seem to love this calculator. Oh, it's so cute. The clicky noise is so satisfying. The other half of you think it's annoying as all get out. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know. Cute or annoying? I'd like to hear your opinion. I love it, obviously, or I wouldn't have purchased it. The clicking noise is so satisfying for me. All right, so let's add these up. So we have 55 plus 527 plus 50 plus 65, $697 total for my checking section. All right, next up I have cash envelopes. So this is where I'm going to put all of my variable expenses. These are things that I typically pull out cash for and stuff my cash envelopes. However, for December, I'm actually doing things a little bit differently. Because December is going to be so darn chaotic, I'm going to take a few of my cash categories and have them not be cash this month. I'm going to use my credit card instead. For the most part, I've been doing that anyway. A lot of times I will pull the cash out of the bank, stuff my envelopes, and then just swipe my card and have to turn around and put the cash right back in the bank to cover those transactions. I was finding it really helpful to pull the cash out to see that it was gone from my account so that I know that it wasn't there for me to spend on other things. But it's gotten to be kind of a hassle, and it's another one of those things where I was finding myself taking the cash out of the bank for the sake of stuffing the envelopes for my video, but if I'm only doing it for a video and it's not serving me anymore, that's ridiculous. I shouldn't be doing that. So there's some categories here that I'm going to keep as cash because it makes sense to take cash for them, but the other categories I'm going to try this month just leaving them in the bank, and we'll see how it goes. If I don't like it, I'll go back to the other way come January, but December's going to be crazy. There's going to be so much spending with finishing up Christmas shopping and, you know, Vlogmas going on. There's going to be lots and lots of just stuff going on, so I want to simplify my budget as much as possible in December. So let's start out with the categories that I'm not going to pull cash for. I'm still going to put them under cash envelopes because that's just how my brain associates this setup. So just pretend this doesn't say cash envelopes. Let's pretend this is variable expenses. And I might change that in the future on my budget printables here because I can do that. It's one of the great things about designing your own printables. You can change them up anytime you want. All right, so first up is food. This is one of those that I'm not going to take cash for. I'm going to leave the food money in the bank and just spend it that way, and we'll see how it goes. For food, I'm going to budget $200 this week. This is for any eating out that we do, as well as any groceries that we need to buy. This also covers any household expenses, just because we typically buy our household stuff at Walmart at the same time we're doing our grocery shopping, so it makes sense to have it all as one line item. So I guess the title of food is a little bit misleading, but it works for me, so I'm sticking with it. Next up, I have my spending money. Now, last month, I overspent in my spending category by a lot. Not by a lot. Actually, I think overall, in the grand scheme of things, it was only like $10 over. But what I did was I spent a bunch of money up front and then had to spend the month catching up and paying myself back for that money I spent up front. Not the way I like to do it. It all worked out in the end. Technically, because I overspent by $10 last month, I should give myself $10 less this month to make up the difference. So that's what I'm going to do. Not this month, this paycheck. So rather than giving myself the typical $40, I'm going to give myself $30 in spending money, and that spending money is also going to stay in the bank. So we'll see how that goes. I might regret this. Next week I might be right back to pulling cash, but for now, this is what we're going to try. Gas is next. We're going to budget $40 for gas. That's also going to stay in the bank. Miscellaneous, $20. This I'm going to pull in cash because having a 20 in my wallet makes sense. There's always something that comes up that I need a little bit of cash for. So $20 I'm going to pull out in cash. And the other categories here I'm also going to pull out in cash. That's my husband's spending money because I need to pull cash to give to him. I like to just give him his spending money at the start of the week and it's gone and I don't have to worry about what he's spending money on because he's got it under control. He takes care of his own little finances here. And then for my son Austin, obviously I'm going to pull cash for him because that's his allowance and he's not old enough to use a credit card. So we're going to do the $10 in cash here. So what I'm going to do to remind myself that this is what I did is I'm going to highlight the ones that I'm pulling cash for just so that I know. So the highlighter I'm going to pull here is, let's see, what color do I want? I want to kind of have a color that I don't associate with anything else. I have 500 markers and crayons and colored pencils and I'm struggling to find something that's going to work. Let's do brown. Brown tends to be the color I use for like miscellaneous things. So we're going to pull cash for miscellaneous. We're going to pull cash for my husband and we're going to pull cash for Austin and everything else is just going to stay in the bank. So when I flip over and I write out my cash breakdown, I will know that only the items that get highlighted are going to be pulled out in cash. One more thing I need to pull cash for is my savings challenge. And what amount did I say that was? $35 for that. That's also going to get pulled out in cash. So I need to highlight that one as well. Just so that I can remind myself that I'm doing things differently this month. But the overall amount that we are budgeting then is 200 plus 30 plus 40 plus 20 plus 40 plus 10 plus 35 is $375. Okay, so next up then we have sinking funds. And I guess I could have put my savings challenge under sinking funds. It's all semantics, right? As long as I know where the money's going, the section that I put it in doesn't really matter. So for sinking funds this month, I'm not going to write in how I'm going to allocate and distribute the sinking funds money because I don't know that yet. I won't know how I'm going to allocate the money until the end of the month when I see exactly how much money I have overall. But I can tell you that this week for sinking funds, we don't have quite as much as I would like to send to our little sinking funds saving stack, but every penny counts because it's December and I want to make sure that I have a bigger buffer in my account because inevitably I'm going to probably go off the rails with spending in some way, shape, or form. So because of that and because of how much I'm going to set aside for extra debt, I don't have quite as much to put towards sinking funds this week, and that's fine. We'll make it work. I'm going to set aside $100 for sinking funds. And we'll talk about how we're going to allocate our sinking funds money at the end of the month when I've accumulated it all from each paycheck. So the total for sinking funds then is $100. I don't know if I want to leave this money in the bank. I have a separate account that I could kind of transfer it to. That's how I did it last month. Or if I want to just pull it out in cash. I like the idea of pulling it out in cash and setting it aside because again, then it's out of my account and I'm not confused, but then I'm going to struggle with having the proper denominations at the end of the month. So, I don't know. Leave me some feedback down below. What do you think I should do? For now, I think I'm just going to leave it in the bank. I'm going to set it aside into my separate little checking account. And, yeah, that's what I'm going to do for now. All right. Next category we have here is extra debt. If you watched my debt update for November, you will know that we didn't pay off quite as much debt as we wanted to in November. So if I still want to have this Chase card paid off by the end of the year, which was my goal, I gotta set aside quite a bit of money for this debt. And what I think I'm going to do, again, because December's crazy, I'm going to take that money, I'm going to budget it, and I'm going to set it aside, but I'm not going to pay it to the Chase card, much like I do with my sinking funds. I'm going to wait till the end of the month, and then I'll pay it then. That way, if I need to pull money out of this for something else that comes up, because December's so crazy, I can do that. It's still there available to me. Because that just makes sense to me. The amount I'm going to budget for Chase is $220. So I'm going to have that $220 set aside, again, in my checking account. Or I could do it in cash, I guess, but I'm going to just leave it in my checking account for now. Maybe shooting myself in the foot with all of this money being left in my checking account. I'm really going to have to be vigilant about making sure that I'm only spending what I've budgeted and not going above and beyond that, because then I'll be eating into this other money that's set aside for other things. But that's kind of the reason I'm just setting it aside instead of paying it. That way, if I do go over budget, giving myself grace in December ultimately is what I'm doing. Then that will mean that I put less towards my debt or less towards my sinking funds, but at least it won't be like me going crazy just swiping my card and accumulating more debt. Does that make sense? I've talked myself in a great big circle. I don't know if I've made sense, but that's the plan. I'm going to set aside $220 to Chase, but I'm not going to pay it yet until the end of the month. So this is the plan. This is the budget. When it comes to actual totals, I will fill in this actual amount in terms of what I actually set aside. And then at the end of the month, we'll true everything up and we'll figure it out. That's how we're going to do it this month. December promises to be a crazy, crazy month. Okay, so the checking amount then that I budgeted is $697. The sinking or the cash envelopes amount is $375. The sinking funds amount is $100. The extra debt is $220. So the amounts then that I'm actually going to send out and have it be gone from my account are my checking account totals here, all of my bills that get paid, and our variable spending. But the sinking fund money and the extra debt money, it's being earmarked for those things, but it's not going to be paid out till the end of the month. That makes sense? I think it does. All right, so that is my budget then. I'm going to flip over quickly to my, I'm going to pull this guy out. I'm done with him. I'm going to flip over to my cash breakdown and write in the amounts that I need to pull cash for. So those things that were highlighted here: miscellaneous, my husband's spending, Austin, and savings challenge. And I'm going to write in their amounts, figure out the denominations. So I will do that really quickly. So we said miscellaneous. That's $20. For that, I'm going to just want a $20. For my husband, we're going to do $40. We'll do two 20s for that. For Austin, we said that's $10. And so we're going to do a 10 for that. And for our savings challenge, $35. So for that, we will do a 20, a 10, and a 5. So not a whole lot of cash. But again, that's kind of the point, trying to keep things simple for December. So 20 plus 40 plus 10 plus 35 is $105 we need to pull out of the bank. So we're going to do 1 5. Can you guys see? Yes. Okay, good. For a total of $5. We're going to do 2 10s for a total of $20. And we're going to do 2, 3, 4 20s for a total of $80. Easy to see that that adds up to 105, but we'll, oops, 5 plus 20 plus 80, 110. That's not right. What did I do? It's 105. I was like, wait a second. I know I'm bad at mental math, but not that bad. So I must have just typed something wrong. All right, so $105. I'm going to run to the bank, pull that cash out, and set it aside for our various things here. And I'll be right back. Okay, so it's actually only been a second because I was able to come up with denominations that would work from the cash that I had on hand that was waiting to be deposited from the bank. Only thing is I didn't have a 5, so instead I've got 5 1s. So I'm going to change. Do I really need to change this? Not really. It doesn't really matter what denominations as long as it's here. So rather than pulling out a 5, I just have 5 1s to do for my savings challenge instead. Totally fine. So let's quickly go ahead and, do I even need to do this? Well, let's do it. We'll do 20s. This is so simple, I don't even really need my little cash tray, but that's okay. Let's use it since I have it. All right. So first and foremost, I need to pull in my cash envelopes, which I have here. And actually, I switched to a really teeny tiny purse for December that this Conscious wallet is not going to fit into. So I'm not going to use my cash envelopes, these cash envelopes that I have here this month, because the only cash that I'm going to have on my person is the $20 for miscellaneous. So let me go and grab the little wallet that fits in my purse and I'll stick that $20 in there instead. Alright, so this is the purse that I'm using right now. I absolutely love it. It's from Kohl's, from the Erin Condren line. So pretty. I love the green, but like, it's a teeny tiny little crossbody, so this wallet is going to take up the entire purse if I do that. So I did get the little wallet that matches. It's just a little teeny tiny guy. Obviously it's not going to fit my cash envelopes, but since, you know, the only thing I'm carrying is miscellaneous, I don't really need it to. So what I'm going to do, actually, take out all of my receipts here that I still need to scan into Fetch Rewards, and I'm going to put my little miscellaneous 20 right here in the front of my wallet. When January rolls around, if I decide to go back to a ton of cash envelopes, then, you know, I'll switch bags. But for now, this is the little guy I'm carrying, and my 20 bucks fits just fine in there. So that's all good to go. And that's going to take care of my miscellaneous money. So I'll just go ahead and highlight that so I know that I stuffed it. And for my husband's spending, his 40, I don't need to stick that in my wallet because I'm just going to hand it right off to him. So I'm just going to set this off to the side for him, along with that $10 for Austin. So that's easy peasy, like the cash stuffing portion of the videos in December is going to be pretty darn short, which I'm okay with. Simplifying. So the only money left then is for my savings challenges. I have a new binder that I purchased from Amazon, and I have, oh boy, what did I do with my envelopes? I told you guys I just organized my desk and I don't know where anything is just yet. So give me a second to figure out what I did with the envelopes. Okay, so I found my little envelopes. I've got them in here now. I'm going to be doing more savings challenges starting in the new year, which I'm excited about. But for now, we just have the one, which is good because I don't have a label for this or anything. And if I had more than one envelope with cash in it, I might be confused. But I won't, so it's all good. So I just need to put the 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, $35 in for today's weather. And that is the start of my high-low temp savings challenge. I'm really excited about it. I hope some of you all will join me as well in this challenge. I do have my friend Marlene over at Snow Gardener 307 Budgets participating in the high-low temperature savings challenge along with me. So I will link her channel down below. I was so excited when she agreed to collaborate with me and do this fun savings challenge. So hopefully it works out as well for her as it does for me. All right, friends, so that is all of my cash stuffed. Not a whole lot this week, but I'm excited about how this week will hopefully be going. You guys will have to stay tuned to see me check in at the end of the week with my actual totals and see how I did. See how some of these little minor changes are working out for me. Hopefully it all goes well. And if it doesn't, you know, we'll change things up. That's the great thing about personal finance is it's personal and you can do it any way you like. So I'll have everything linked down below, my worksheets, as well as my friend Marlene's channel. Make sure you check those links out. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here on my channel every single week. I'd love to have you come back, and I'll see you guys next time.